Hi everyone, welcome to class. So today's class will be a little bit more tutorial style and we'll be working on our shoulders. I have a few people coming to me this week talking about their shoulder pains, especially after doing arm balances and inversions. And they're like, oh, my neck here and my shoulder here feels really tight after. So a lot of times it's because these muscles here overfire, whereas the muscles that's supposed to support you that sits here are under firing. So we're just going to learn how to get these muscles to relax a little bit and these muscles here to work a little bit harder. Okay? In today's class, you'll need a peanut or a tennis ball. Actually, we only need one side, so a tennis ball would work, but I only have a peanut at home, so here we go. And also a block. All right? So to start, we are going to learn how to release the upper traps. So the upper traps are a group of muscles that can be really insecure and they would want to take over and do a lot of heavy lifting, but because they are really not very big muscles, they don't have much strength and they get tight really fast. Okay. Plus, in our day-to-day lives, if you sit in front of a computer a lot, our shoulders are already rounded forward this way. These muscles here are overstretched and sometimes that causes pain too. So you're going to grab this tennis ball and it's going to sit here. So I'm going to show you my back. This, more or less, it goes down from the neck and into this part here. Everyone's spot's going to be slightly different depending on, your habits, how your muscles are. So you're going to take the ball and place it around here when we lie down on the floor in just a little bit. So, okay, let's just lie down. Getting in gets a little bit tricky, so you're going to take some time to get in. Then you're just going to place the tennis ball, underneath the upper traps. And if you like, you can use a block for the head. Okay, and then you stay here. It takes a little bit of getting in. Oh, I can feel it. Okay, so we're going to stay here for a few moments on the first side. And just think about allowing the muscle to kind of like sink into the ball. So it's a pressure release that we're doing over here. And if your upper traps is like super tight, really stiff, extremely reactive, then maybe you don't want to go to the point that is already tense. You might want to go around the tense point until your body allows you to get into the tense point. Just another 3 more breaths here. And release. Let's switch sides. So you're going to take the tennis ball or the peanut and you're going to put on the second side. Same thing, you'll find the point that is the most sore. So it takes a while to get in. There we go. Okay, and then you're going to stay here once you find the point. And really breathing into the acupressure point. So our whole body is connected. A lot of times when you feel really tight in this part of your shoulders, you will also notice that your jaw tend to clench a little bit. So sometimes when you release this tension point with the tennis ball or the peanut, you might notice that the jaw will also start softening slightly. Last breath here. Okay, and slowly we are gonna release. Okay, I'm gonna sit up and we're gonna go through the next part. So now that we have kind of asked the upper trap to like relax a little bit, we're going to talk about shoulder movement patterns. Your shoulder blades can move in a couple of ways, but more specifically in yoga, we push and reach the arm forward this way. And when that happens, the shoulder blade, which is this bone that sits here, will start to glide towards the front of the rib cage. So you see, this is neutral position. When I push forward, the shoulder blade glides towards the front of the rib. When that happens, the serratus anterior, which sits here, the core muscle of the shoulder, start to work. Okay? And because in this class, we are trying to get the upper traps to not work, what I want us to do later on is when we are trying to protract the shoulders, you want to watch for the arm bone going up towards the ear. So you want to actively pull the shoulder away from the ear as you reach the arm forward, and then we can see if we get this serratus to fire up just a little bit more. Okay, so we're just going to go through protraction today. Really, really simple. We're going to start in a tabletop position first. So in your tabletop, have the palms shoulder width distance apart, knees hip width distance apart. You're going to shift the shoulder side to side, forward and back. Let's warm up the wrists slightly. Okay, and you're going to stack the shoulders on top of the wrist, gaze between the palms. From here, can we push both palms into the floor firmly until you feel the shoulder blades draw apart? So note that this is actually quite a subtle action. A lot of times when I ask for this in class, what people do is that they start to round the spine like a cat pose. So in that rounding, yes, your shoulders do protract, but we are trying to separate the movement right now. So you can see when I round the spine, this is the part that moves the most. This can actually turn off. So let's keep the spine in a neutral position and really just think about driving the hands into the floor more until you feel like this sensation underneath the armpit here, somewhere around here, starts to fire up. Okay, then we're going to do the opposite. Imagine you have a pencil between the shoulder blade. You're going to hug the shoulder blades in towards each other and you squeeze the imaginary pencil. So this is called retraction. A few more times. Push, protract. Squeeze, retract 2. Again, push, protract. Squeeze, retract 3. Again, protract. Retract 4. Last one, protract. Retract 5. Okay, let's come back to center. Now, we're going to kind of like ask the shoulders to do a little bit more work, and this is where your block's going to come in. Now, with the block, you're going to place it underneath one hand, and the other hand's going to be on the floor. So what happens is later, we will start to shift the weight towards the hand on the block and try to protract the shoulder so much that the other hand can lift off. Watch that the hip is not shifting side to side. You really want to work from the shoulder. So block's going to be underneath the right palm for now. Left palm's going to be on the floor. And you're going to have the feet back towards a plank position. Now you're going to shift the weight towards the right hand and really push into the right hand, protract the right shoulder until the left shoulder floats off. And we come down 1. 4 more, push and we lift. Come down 2, push and we lift. Come down 3, 2 more, push and lift. Down 4, last one, push and lift. Come down 5. Okay, drop the knees down and we're going to switch sides. This should be quite hard. A lot of my regular students who are quite strong will also struggle with this because this is actually quite a bit of work, yeah? So second side block is going to be underneath the left palm. Right palm is going to be on the floor. Step the feet back towards a plank position. Same thing, keep the shoulder away from the ear. Now push the hand into the block. Really think about trying to protract the shoulder here and the other hand will come down. 4 more, push and lift. Down 2. Push and lift. Down 3. 2 more, push. Down 4. Last one, push. Down 5. Okay, really super good. Next, from our plank position, we'll learn how to transition towards a downward facing dog. So from your plank to your down dog, the difference is in the angle of the push. When you start pushing into a down from a plank position, your arm is about 90 degrees, so it's parallel to the floor. And as you move it into a downward facing dog, you are moving it towards a 180-degree position. For those of us with really, really mobile shoulders, there are a lot of times you are able to get here without engaging the serratus much. So this is where we want to be a little bit more mindful. So you're going to put the block aside for now. Both hands are going to be on the floor. You're going to step the feet back towards a plank position. Okay, from here, shoulders away from the ears first, so we can get a little bit more into our serratus. Push, you're going to protract the shoulders. Then slowly you send the butt up and back. Keep the sensation of the push. Allow the shoulders to come towards the ears. And you feel like the side body starts to lengthen as the hips move up and back. Stay here, and then you're going to pedal the legs right and left, right and left. So you must almost feel like your hands are actively pushing down and forward. There is a lot of support and strength that is at play in your hands, in your shoulder joint, to support your downward facing dog. So in contrast, a down dog without actively pushing and engaging the serratus that much will look like that, where it's a little bit more sinky. Some of us have to do this because we're trying to bring the head towards the floor. So not for today. For today, we're trying to get strong and stable shoulders. So we're going to focus on really wrapping the shoulder blade forward and allowing the shoulder blade to upwardly rotate as we come into our downward facing dog. In the future, this has implications for your inversions, but we're going to go through that another day. Okay? So just one more time from the plank, we'll go into a downward facing dog. So palms down onto the floor. Step the feet back towards a plank. Starting with the shoulders away from the ears first, push, you're going to protract the shoulders. Then once you protract, think about actively pushing your hands forward as you allow the shoulders to come towards the ears and you press back towards a downward facing dog. And then we're going to stay here. And one more breath here. And slowly release. Let's drop the knees down to the floor. We're going to do one more variation, and this time will be on our forearms. So sometimes with the elbows down, people start to be a little bit confused about how to activate the shoulders, but rest assured it's exactly the same. Okay, so with the elbows down onto the floor, for now, let's interlace 10 fingers, keeping the elbows shoulder width distance apart. Now, with the knees down on the floor, first thing, let's draw the shoulders slightly away from the ears, okay? Once it stays away from the ears, drive the elbows down, protract the shoulders. You want to feel the shoulder blades wrap towards the sides of the rib cage. Then from here, let's step the feet back towards a forearm plank. All right, now in our forearm plank, let's maintain the push. Then I want you to try squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then you push, you protract. Squeeze, retract, 2. Protract. Retract, 3. 2 more. Protract. Retract, 4. Last one. Protract. Retract, 5. Push, protract first. Okay, let's drop the knees down and take a short break. So this is pushing into a forearm plank. And from a forearm plank, we'll move into a dolphin pose. So again, in dolphin, there's a lot of times people start hanging out in their shoulders, not enough active pushing. And when that doesn't happen, it doesn't set a great foundation for your headstand, your regular headstand, or your forearm stand, which is your Pincha Mayurasana. So let's try to get the foundation before we move into getting into the inversions later on, okay? So again, elbows down onto the floor, interlace 10 fingers, step the feet back, forearm plank. Now from your forearm plank, push into the elbows, draw the shoulder blades apart, and slowly you're going to step the feet in, step in, step in. So as you step the feet in, drive the elbows down and think about slowly bringing the chest towards the leg, but maintaining that push strength.
So if that happens well, you should feel like this slight stretching sensation around the side of your ribs closer towards the armpit. Or if you're really mobile, you may not feel a stretching sensation, you'll feel like an active strength sensation. Hold it here. Stay for 4 more breaths. 3, 2, and slowly let's drop the knees down.
All right, so today what we've done is that we've gone through how to ask the upper traps here to relax a little bit so that we can get our serratus anterior, which sits here, fire up. And once that we got that going, we went through the technique of protracting and retracting the shoulders to fire up the serratus. Then we went into a plank position, moving towards a down dog position, learning how to support the shoulders through that transition and in both positions. And then we replicated the whole thing on our forearms, from forearm plank to our dolphin pose. So in the next few weeks, we'll go through how to use this to get into our inversions, like really basic inversion practice that you can do at home. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye.